to the Digital Force Broadcast Network, the Modified Madness Tour, concluding one heck of a race season, total of 18 weeks. These boys have been at it, and tonight it all comes to a close here at Irwindale. We're going to go to the playing of the national anthem when we come back. We'll tell you a little bit about what you can expect here tonight from both divisions, the lights and the tours, here at this championship race. We'll be back, folks, right after this. evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network this Wednesday night. However you're getting us, whether it's out there on YouTube, Twitch, or even iRacing Live, we do want to thank you for tuning in here to catch the Modified Madness Tour in their championship race here this Wednesday evening. I'm Dustin Caldwell. I'll be bringing you the plays as they head into these cars, battle through the turns, through the straightaways, and a little bit of pit action as we're set for 250 laps here at the Irwindale Intercourse. And if everybody knows that this track here is, they got a few different tracks here. They have an outer oval, they got the inner oval, and as well as a figure 8 track out here on iRacing. And the inner track, as we follow some of the drivers going around the inside of the track, you can see it's a 3/10 of a mile track as we bring the race information up on your screen. A little bit of weather here today, 74 degrees in the air, a little bit warmer track temperature, about 85 down there on the pavement. Some humidity mixed in with that, bringing some cloud action up above. It's going to be interesting to see how both the lights and the tours will adjust here for this championship race. I'll take you up to our blimp view so you can see, take a look at the track down below. You can see how the track is about a half mile on the outside, a little bit larger than a half mile on the outer oval. On the inner oval, as where these drivers will be at today, it's going to be a little bit smaller. Again, 3/10 of a mile track down there at Irwindale. Just a couple minutes remaining as the drivers are putting down some good practice times. Again, if you've been following the season following the tour all season long, you'll know that there are two classes of cars. They have the Tour Modifieds with the bigger engines pushing out over 600 to 700 horsepower, going up against themselves, but at the same time, you have another division of cars. They all look the same, but the modified lights, as we'll bring one up on here, Scott Naslin, one of the guys in the light division there, that is a light modified car. Looks just like a Tour Modified, just a little bit less horsepower, running a 2-barrel carbed engine. They all run around the 350 mark, 350 to 380, depending upon what leagues that you would see running in their individual specs. But the SKs or the light modifieds push out anywhere between 300 to 400 horse. So a little bit of difference in power between the cars, but you get them on these small tracks like this, and you can expect that these light modifieds will be hanging with the bigger cars through the turns, but the tours will have that get up when they come out of the turn and be able to pass through these light guys on the straightaways. So two different races at the same time. You will see in the ticker when it comes across the screen, the T's signify the tour drivers, the L's for the light modified drivers, the red numbers on the cars. If you're a visual person, the red numbers are the light modified drivers, the blue numbers are the tour modified drivers. So we got a lot of guys here tonight, about 15-20 guys finishing out the season here at Irwindale, and it's been a great one. They had a total of 22 weeks set up with a few makeup dates in between just in case anything happened, some scheduling conflicts. We had a few of those happen, so it was a good thing they implemented those extra 4 weeks for potential makeup dates. Total of 18 weeks altogether in racing. And tonight, a few of the drivers looking to hold on to it. Pretty much up in the Tour Modified division, Christian Peterson, the 6-man Peterson Irrigation Machine, the number 23 car, pretty much has it on lockdown as he had about 85 points last week over teammate Seth the Merchant. So as long as he shows up here tonight, logs a couple laps, he pretty much has that championship set in stone for him here. But in the light division, it was a twisting turn of events last week as Scott Naslin was able to get out ahead of series point leader Benny Ellison. He's about 25 points behind here tonight. And so far, Benny Ellison's been running a little bit slower times in practice. So we'll see if the 33 of Naslin can pull off a victory here and hopefully get him within firing shot of getting the championship here tonight, but who knows? Ellison might have a little bit left for the 33 car, so we'll have to see how that will play out. And again, 250 laps coming your way here just momentarily as we're about 15 seconds from moving over to the grid as these drivers try to find out how this track's handling and what lines they're going to be running, as a lot of the drivers, especially the SKs, hugging the inside lanes, the Tour Modifieds using that extra horsepower to power through the middle to the high points of the track. So a lot of good racecraft to be had here tonight. A lot of good battles still going to go on these drivers. Whether or not they're in the points, they are going to be fighting for track position. Every driver in this league wants to win, and you'll see that here tonight. Looks like qualifications have come to a close. They're going to be moving to the grid for 2 laps of pacing before we actually get the green flag here tonight. So when we get over to the grid and the cars start to come out to the grid, we'll show you the qualifying as they start to make their way out. Let's take a look here at the grid this evening. On the pole for the Tour Modified Division, the number 42 of Zach the Holy Man Mecca. Qualifying time here tonight, 13.21. He'll have the number 12 MaxFire.com Chevrolet of Wade Cheetah to the outside. Just 1/100th of a second off that pace. Very close times. Take a look down through the top 5 there as Seth the Merchant Leveralt will be in your second row. Robbie Bundon, Brian Neff rounding out the 4th row. Looking on back through, Kyle Barnes, Tanner Cook, Austin Coop, Scott Naslin. So Kyle Barnes, the 46 machine, been in race control, in and out of the race control booth all season long. He'll be starting on the pole for the light and modifieds. Tanner Cook, the bad boy himself, the number 18 Rockstar Energy machine, will be to the outside. Coop and Naslin will be back there. So Naslin already off to a good start here at Irwindale, ahead of the series points leader, Benny Ellison, who will be in that next row behind him. Tour Modified driver Josh Hart, Christian Peterson, Scott Schrader, and Robert Lacavara is going to round out your field here this evening. So the pace car ready to go. Ready to take these guys around for 2 laps of pace action before we get the green flag and be off to that 250 lap championship race here this evening. A lot of good things in the works coming up here for the CRA League. You can find them on the web. All that together, ChampionshipRacingAssociation.com is their website. If you'd like to know more about us in the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network, you can find us on the web at forgebroadcasting.com as well as on Facebook. Just look up Digital Forge Broadcasting. We're also on Twitter and even Instagram. As the cars shift into the gears, first gear ready to roll, and the pace car looks like he's going to get the signal here from race control. Start taking these guys around, and there he goes, starts to pull away. As they make their way into the third turn, again, 3/10 of a mile track. These laps are going to go quick. Warmer temperatures, we could see some spinouts here this Wednesday night. Flagman with the 1 to go signal this time by as they cross the start finish line. Cars will begin bunching up. Here we go, pace car. Set to go into the pits this time by. There goes the pace car. Zach Mecca gets the green flag, and we're off to the championship race here at Irwindale. And they're moving through this track real quick into the backstretch here on the first lap into turn number 3. The 42 machine hugging the inside lane has Seth the Merchant behind him. Wade Cheetah to the outside is going to fall back as he develops a push early on before he can get down into the lower groove right there behind the 35 of Seth the Merchant. As they work their way around, a nice little battle back here ahead of Brian Neff as Kyle Leverall to the high side of Robbie Bundon. Bundon just out ahead of Neff. And the Tour Modified start their pull away from the Light Modifieds. Kyle Barnes in the Light Modifieds back there behind Kyle Leverall. Austin Coop just ahead of Tanner Cook. That is your top 3 in the Light Modifieds. Series point leader and hopeful champion here tonight, number 23 of Christian Peterson. Just kind of casual race here tonight for him as he had a nice sizable lead over the rest of the field. So he's just going to be out here logging some laps, taking a joyride around this Irwindale inner oval. To the inside now of Austin Coop as the 23 moves. Let's jump back up to the tour leader. Zach the Holy Man Mecca has Seth the Merchant, the other 6-man E-car, to the inside. And it looks like the Merchant's going to go to the race lead here on lap 7 And Mecca was trying to close the gap on the inside groove. Here comes the number 12 MaxFire.com Chevrolet of Wade Cheetah. Back there in third position, he's going to start to work that lower groove. Warmer temperatures here tonight are going to rubber up this 3/10 of a mile track in a hurry. And these drivers might be running a different line as the laps progress. Looking back into the light division now is Kyle Barnes to the inside of Kyle Leverald. Austin Koop back there in second position. Tanner Cook still in third. Scott Naslin, Benny Ellison, fourth and fifth in your light divisions as they come across into turn number 3 here on lap number 9. Naslin just ahead of Ellison. Ellison not known to be an aggressive driver. He is a very patient driver. Will hold out into the back at the right moment, will find the gap, and he will shoot for it. And that's why that guy leads the light modified division. Back up front, Seth the Merchant out to a 6/10 of a second lead over Wade Cheetah, who's coming across the start-finish line here into lap number 12. Cheetah and Mecca have found themselves side by side a few times in this race. Cheetah, though, had a chance at a couple of wins a few different times throughout the season. Fortunately, it was pretty much the last quarter of the race plagued this 12 car, kept them out of the points race. But he is known to be one of the faster drivers here in this division. Brian Neff, the 60 Winn-Dixie machine, sizable opponent, was taken out a few times, which pretty much killed his chances at the points race here in the Modified Madness Tour. However, though he has stuck with it and still remained a sizable factor for these drivers to deal with, one of these drivers you will find up in the top 5. So Leveralt still behind Christian Peterson, Robbie Bunden back there in 7th position for the Tour Modifieds. Light modified leader Kyle Barnes now, with about 1/8 of a second gap between him and Tanner Cook, as Tanner Cook is going to get around Austin Koop into second position as he makes his way out of the turn into the front stretch towards turn number 1. That Rockstar Energy machine starts to close the gap on the 46. It was a tough race last week, ladies and gentlemen. If you tuned into the Charlotte race at the Legends Oval Course, a quarter-mile track for these modifieds, a lot of horsepower, a lot of bumping and banging, and a tough night, terrible night to say the least, for the 18 machine, as he was spun a few times, probably about 5 times to say the most. Nerves got the best of him. We found some intentional wrecking out of him. Race control made sure that when coming into the race this week, that no temperament was going to brew over into the championship race. They talked to Tanner about it. He said he would keep his head level as he came into this championship race, and it looks like it's getting the best of him now, as a very focused number 18 machine is closing the gap on the 46 of Kyle Barnes. Zach Mecca trying to catch his way back up towards Wade Cheetah here on lap 22. Almost a second gap between Cheetah. Cheetah about a second gap between him and the leader, Seth the Merchant, as the Merchant crosses the start-finish line into lap 23. Peterson now up into the top 4 here in the Tours. Started back with the lights, which would have put him about 11th, 12th position overall on the grid. And when we say position, we mean just out of cars, knowing that he had to get through. He actually started 7th at the tail of the field, but through positioning and lights, he was relegated to the back of the field. Has now worked his way up into the top 4 and is closing the gap about 2 seconds behind Zach Mecca, the number 42. A little bit of sway there from the 87 of Robbie Bunden, as the rear end looks like it's getting a little bit loose. He's going to touch some apron here as he makes his way out of the turn into the first turn. You can see the rear end starting to get a little bit loose on it. We'll have to monitor that, as he may overdrive that car and start a little spin out action. You can start to see the line down low, folks, if you keep an eye here, as we watch the Tour Modified leader Seth the Merchant go around light modified driver Benny Ellison as he works his way into the backstretch now. Towards that third turn towards Naslin, you can see how darkened the track has become just in about 29 laps now, 28 laps completed. DeMerchant hung up there with the light modified, so you can see how these cars are able to hang with the bigger boys in the turns. But it is the straightaways giving the advantage to the Tour Modified drivers. Tanner Cook now sees the 35 to the inside. And it's something we have seen a lot this season. Both division leaders, Kyle Barnes and Seth DeMerchant, the light and modified leaders side by side as they head through the turn. DeMerchant into turn number 3 will be able to pass the 46 of Kyle Barnes. Cross that start-finish line into lap 32. So DeMerchant, Cheetah, Mecca, Peterson, and Leveralt, the top 5 there in the Tour Modifieds. The top 5 in the lights, Kyle Barnes, Tanner Cook, Scott Naslin, Austin Coop, and Benny Ellison. Some side-by-side action as Wade Cheetah and Austin Coop split Scott Naslin. Naslin got a little bit loose there and coming out of the turn. Cheetah's able to move away. Naslin, Howitz, Mecca behind him now. Coop and Mecca side-by-side. There's a good showing of the two different divisions as Mecca running the blue numbers in the Tour Modified car. The 53 of Austin Coop, the white with red numbers, is the light modified driver. Benny Ellison now to the high side as Kyle Leveralt goes to the inside. Almost comical to talk about Seth DeMerchant in the sense that he was one of the drivers that Christian Peterson feared the most out here on all these shorter tracks, as this driver, Peterson, will tell you that Seth DeMerchant, the better driver, the faster driver a lot of the times, unless it was a track that Christian Peterson knew he could come in and win, he would always give due to this guy right here, teammate Seth DeMerchant. You can see that here tonight. His fast lap time looking pretty good, 13.35. Last one was about a 14.01. He's got about 2.3 second lead over the number 12 of Wade Cheetah. As you see Cheetah out there all by his lonesome in second, when we jump back to third. Little light modified Tour modified blend as the 42 of Zach Mecca behind the light modified leader Kyle Barnes as they work their way towards the third turn. Here comes Christian Peterson with a little bit of checkup action towards the back of Zach Mecca. This could be an opportunity as Peterson's going to try the high side, not wanting to put too much pressure on the 42 and create an incident. And now almost 3 wide action into the turn as Peterson shoots up the track. The 42 of Mecca is going to hug it close, and around goes Peterson to the high side, and Tanner Cook's going to tag the 42 of Mecca, but Mecca's able to save the car to avoid any potential caution flag coming out here on lap 44. Kyle Barnes now behind Christian Peterson. Can see Tanner Cook in the rear view mirror as they work their way into the turn. Tanner Cook's been about 0.6 of a second behind the 46 machine, and as they head in to lap number 45 towards the backstretch now, looks like Barnes is extending a little bit of a gap over Tanner Cook. Leveralt looking a little loose on the rear end as he came out of turn number 4, working his way into the first couple turns here just ahead of Austin Coop. In between him and Robbie Bunden is the 53 of Austin Coop. Robbie Bunden, the 87 machine, working his way towards the third turn as Austin Coop is going to push way high. Almost made contact with the wall there entering turn 3. And the 53 car is going to allow the 87 by here on lap 48. And Seth DeMerchant still working his way through the track. Fast lap time 13.35, and take a look at that previous lap. 13.99. Last time we checked, it was over 14 seconds. As this car goes on, it's starting to look even faster. Peterson was able to get around Leverall into third position with the light modifieds being in the way, and he's even going to use some apron action there as he went into turn 2. Turn 3, he's going to swing it wide, and the rear end started to get a little loose. So that track down there is getting rubbered up from all these cars logging over 50 laps on it. You can see how dark it's starting to get. It's going to continue to get dark, which is only going to mean this track's going to get slicker as we go on. As Seth the Merchant now climbs towards Brian Neff, who's back in 7th position, looking to put that 60 Winn-Dixie machine one lap down here heading into lap number 55. Zach Mecca to the high side of Kyle Barnes. Not a position battle here. Kyle Barnes still leading, and almost some contact there coming out of turn number 4. Barnes hugging the inside grooves as we expected to see out of the light modifieds here tonight. Tour modifieds able to make more use of the higher parts of the track. And again, you can start to see it get darker and darker here into lap number 56. Robbie Bundon now looking to climb to the outside of the 46 of Barnes. Tanner Cook still has a car now, and a little bit about 0.8 to a second gap between him and Kyle Barnes here into lap 57. And Austin Coop's getting a little bit loose into turn 1. Seth the Merchant to the inside. Here comes Brian Neff to the inside of Coop. During practice, one interesting thing to note about this 53 machine, they call this guy Spider-Man, and one of the people asked him why they would call the 53 of Austin Coop Spider-Man is because this guy is known to put the car up on the wall as a trick, and we saw it during practice. He was able to drive his car up the wall and into the catch fence and come back down without wrecking it. A neat little trick and a formidable thing to do in this car, considering the weight of these machines, just slightly over 2,800 pounds. And he's able to take it up and bring it back down. And talking about going down, the 12 of Wade Cheetah to the inside of Austin Coop coming out of turn number 4 will move around. Cheetah still into 2nd position as he works his way up towards Tanner Cook just ahead. And again, folks, can't stress it enough, if you've been following us this season, you'll know that these light modified cars do not have to yield their line. If they are feeling they are running a good line, they do not have to get out of the way for the Tour Modifieds. Given the extra horsepower and being 2 different races, these Tour Modifieds should easily be able to find a line around the light modified drivers. But it is a little courteous thing. You'll see some of the drivers swing wide. Not so much here as, well, maybe Brian Neff's a little generous there as he allows the 12 of Wade Cheetah to go by the inside, considering the fact that he was a lap down. It's typical courteous of a lap car driver to go up, depending upon where the groove is of that night. He may go up high and allow all the lead cars by on the inside. He may go low and lead them all by, let them all go by to the high side if that is where the fast line is. Wade Cheetah is going to look to the outside of Kyle Barnes here as they come across the start-finish line. Again, the Tour Modifieds making good use of the middle part of the track. Barnes has found sanctuary. It's still working the lower part of the track as he works his way into turn number 1 here on lap 68. Neff swinging around to the high side as they work their way through the turn. And Wade Cheetah still in 2nd position, 2.3 seconds off your race leader. You can see how fast at a 0.3 of a mile track these laps go by, especially with no caution action. Robbie Bundon just ahead of Scott Naslin. Naslund, surprisingly, still ahead of Benny Ellison. That's that 0-1 machine behind him. Again, coming into the night, 25 points deficit separated him and the series points leader, Benny Ellison, who is currently behind him. Not sure if a position battle is going to be enough here at Irwindale. As we come back up to the race leader, looking to put 5th position Zach Mecca down one lap as the Merchant on a rail here at Irwindale. Taking down on board here with the 35 machine. As he's looking to the inside of Mecca, you can hear those tires start to screech for grip as he works his way through the turn. Some people might find this a little bit woozy on how fast these guys are turning, but these guys love it. There's across the start-finish line. You can hear how these tires are really working some grip. Not a lot of action on the throttle. It comes down to just finessing the throttle around the track. Getting on it enough to get you through the straightaway, getting off and rolling this car through the turn. And that's what we're seeing DeMerchant do, and that is why he's almost out to a 3-second lead over Wade Cheetah. A little bit of difference in racing styles there as Cheetah holding on to the throttle a little bit longer than DeMerchant. Jump over to the light modifieds and let you see what these guys look like. Again, these cars pretty much looking the same, just the difference in engine and weight between the two. Bigger engines in the Tour modifieds compared to the lights. And a complete deceleration out of the 46 of Kyle Barnes, who continues to lead the light modified division. Championship action underway here at Irwindale. 83 laps soon to be in the books as Seth DeMerchant crosses the start-finish line. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, more race action to come your way, so don't go anywhere, folks. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
Overdrive.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back this Wednesday night here to Irwindale. Championship race for the Modified Madness Tour. Seth the Merchant, your Tour Modified race leader, 3.6 seconds lead now, has led a total of 92 laps of this race. As they cross over into the triple digits, Wade Cheetah in second, Christian Peterson third, Kyle Leverald fourth, Zach Mecca rounding out your top five in the Tours. Guy who's pretty much led the whole entire race. In the light modifieds, Kyle Barnes has Austin Coop, Tanner Cook, Scott Naslund, and Benny Ellison behind him. And Austin Coop running second. Tanner Cook handles slide issues, and you can see he's continuing to slide as he goes to the infield. We'll come back out onto the track, trying to avoid contact with the drivers. We'll try and defeat the car out by your race leader in the Tour Modified, Seth the Merchant, who just passed the 60 Winn-Dixie machine on Brian Neff, putting him 2 laps down now. So looks like Tanner Cook is going to go to the pits. For a little review on that car as he'll talk it over with his pit crew. It was my understanding at the start of the race that these drivers are not allowed to take tires, making it really interesting because of the warmer conditions. Again, 85 degrees, the temperature at the start of the race, and you can see how that lower groove has darkened up here in the first 100 laps of this race. Very, very dark inside groove. Has made it slick for some of these drivers. One driver that it has not affected too much here, the 46 of Kyle Barnes, as he's been working that car, even in taking it down on the apron a little bit, has been able to work through it. As Barnes works his way towards turn number 1, here is Austin Coop just now crossing the start-finish line. That is your second position light modified driver here on the night. Right behind him, second position, Christian Peterson. As it looks like, third position, Christian Peterson is Wade Cheetah. Oh, and Peterson looking a little bit loose there in the lower groove. Austin Coop's going to swing wide, giving berth enough to these drivers to get by on the inside groove, and Peterson looking really loose. I tell you what, Austin Coop, keep an eye on this 53 car, as he's been flirting with the walls, trying to make this outside groove work and run down Kyle Barnes. Looks like Tanner Cook is back out on the track. Was looking really loose earlier. And you can see that rear end just looking to sway a little bit as that Rockstar Energy machine. Trying to make his way around the track is behind Benny Ellison. Couple laps down at this point in this light modified race. there is your series points leader in the Tour Modifieds, Christian Peterson. Again, coming into tonight, 71-point lead over Seth the Merchant. In the interest of theory, all he had to do was show up at the track and complete one lap, and he pretty much walks out the champion, but that is not the type of driver that this guy is. Not necessarily pushing it to the bit of extreme that you would expect if he was still fighting for points. Last week at Charlotte, at the Legends Oval, at the start of the race, said he was not 100%, said he was looking hopeful for that race as he was feeling really sick. Ended up showing up for the race and almost won it, as it was Joshua Hart, the 95 machine last week, just by a nose at the point of the final caution flag coming out. Was able to steal that race away from Peterson. Oh, and Zach Mecca is going to get turned for the second time here tonight. Again, a good job there by the 42 machine to be able to save it and avoid a yellow flag coming out. So far, here's what the summary looks like. Seth the Merchant currently leading out of the 120 completed, nearly to the halfway point. One lead change up in the Tour Modified division, 0 cautions. The Merchant and Leveralt, not a position battle. Teammate Christian Peterson in third position is the only car other than Wade Cheetah and the Merchant on the lead lap. So with the Merchant passing Kyle Leveralt, he has gone one lap down now. And the Merchant looking a little bit loose there in the turn. Kyle Barnes into turns 1 and 2, still able to work that lower groove. Nice sizable lead as we see Zach Mecca and looks like Seth the Merchant, Tour Modified leader, back behind. Barnes is now staying true to his line. Mecca was looking to the inside. Here comes Seth the Merchant looking to put the 42 machine down another lap yet again as he goes by the inside. The Merchant swims through traffic, looks to the outside of Barnes, into the turn he goes. Side by side, both leaders find themselves on the track for the second time here tonight. The Merchant rallies to the outside to get around Barnes. Here comes Mecca and Leveralt. Side by side action between the 42 and the 7. Not a position battle there, as it looks like Mecca's one lap down further than Leveralt. The Merchant has Scott Naslund ahead of him. As he works that lower groove, Naslund, will he swing wide? He's going to swing wide. Allows the Tour Modified driver by the inside, and the Merchant carries on to over a 5.5 second lead over the car right here, the number 12 of Wade Cheetah, who's to the inside of Austin Coop, who looks a little bit loose in the turn. Coop still running second in the light modified race here tonight as he crosses the start-finish line into turns 1 and 2. A little bit higher up the track than Kyle Barnes, but it seems to be working for him. Though turns 1 and 2 posing to be the issue, he's going to have to slow up a little bit there. So it looks like Austin Coop is able to navigate turns 3 and 4 no problem. It is the first couple turns that's posing the most issue as we watch him head into turn 1 here.
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
And it looks like we're going to have a caution flag out. don't see anybody having any spin out issues. No damage on these cars. But if I wasn't mistaken, I believe it was Zach Mecca that got spun out. As you see him coming back out onto the track there as the pace car makes its way out. So Zach Mecca got spun for the third time here tonight. Fortunately, the rear end of the car stayed out on the track long enough for race control to throw out a caution flag. So that's going to bunch all the cars back up. That once 5.5 second lead that Seth the Merchant had over the rest of the field will now be closed down, and Wade Cheetah will find himself to be beside the 35 machine. It's also going to give some wave arounds to some of these drivers. We see Benny Ellison getting a wave around. So it looks like the lights come off the pace car. We're going to be back green on lap 141. Cars will begin bunching up. Wade Cheetah to be the outside car in that front row. Zach Mecca, Christian Peterson in that second row. Here we go. Pace car set to go into the pits. It's going to be the green flag.
Green flag.
There's the green flag. It's back in the air. And Cheetah to the outside gets around Mecca. Oh, but Mecca's going to rally back that inside groove. And Mecca having some issues yet again, holding up some traffic as Peterson is not able to get around the 42. Peterson, the lead lap car, looks to the inside. Trying to sneak a position away from Wade Cheetah as Wade Cheetah's behind him. And a little position battle going on.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Caution flag comes out yet again. And this one's going to be thrown by race control. Do have a issue we want to bring up tonight, folks, regarding the flag up there that you see underneath the league logo. Do apologize on that. Not showing that it's under yellow, given the circumstances here at the track. Does not show the actual yellow flag out. Luckily, the pace car denotes that we are under caution. So, Seth the Merchant, total of 140 laps led here tonight. Kyle Barnes, the fast car to beat in the lights. Still some race action to come your way here from California at the Irwindale track.
How much longer do you want to wait for Dave to talk about this dart release?
Why? What's he doing?
I'm pretty sure he's playing Pokemon again.
Again?
Yes, again.
Back under the green here at Irwindale. Nice look from the blimp cam up top. See these drivers working that line, and look how dark that track has gotten, folks, from these cars working their way around as they're trying to continue to work the inside groove, as we see race leader Seth DeMerchant for the Tour Modifieds in the heat of the darkness through into turn number 3 in a very rubbered up track here on lap 160 heading into 161. Wade Cheetah just 0.5 of a second behind him as they work their way into the third turn. DeMerchant had worked himself to almost a 5.5 second lead over the rest of the field due to a caution flag coming out. Got the field bunched up again, which was fortunate for the 12th machine. And it looks like Wade Cheetah's trying to keep that lead gap under a 0.5 second. Fortunately, not too successful here as it just went over 0.6. Nice little battle for track position, not necessarily for class position, as we see almost 3 wide action. Kyle Barnes in the lower groove with the lights. Brian Neff ahead of Christian Peterson as those two are battling out through the track. And even there in the class, it's not a position battle between Neff and Peterson, as Peterson is still considered to be on the lead lap for the Tours. Neff back in 7th position, a couple laps down. However, the 33 of Scott Naslund taking full advantage of all these cars just ahead of Barnes as he closes the gap and can begin to fight Barnes for light modified lead as they work their way around the track here heading towards lap 168. Nice side-by-side action between Neff and Bunden. Bunden able to get around the 60 machine and looks to work his way up towards Peterson. Bunden currently 1 lap down, 5th position. The guy ahead of him is Kyle Leverold, who we see right here at the number 7 machine. Seth the Merchant into turn number 3 here in lap 170. Winding these laps down quick. Has extended his lead over Wade Cheetah by 1 second now. Taking a look up at the top on the ticker, folks, 164. 165 now laps led here by the 35 machine. A dominant force, the 6-man Inc. crew of Christian Peterson and Seth the Merchant has been in the Tour division here of the Modified Madness Tour. Kyle Barnes now looking to put Tanner Cook an additional lap down as Tanner Cook looks to be about 4 laps down here in the lights. Cook's going to swing wide, allow Barnes by the inside. Tanner Cook's car looked really solid in the first 20 laps of the race, then developed a very loose condition, spun out a few times, and has not been able to recover. Despite the couple cautions. Oh, and Tanner Cook!
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
We're going to call that one intentional, folks. Tanner Cook comes intentionally down into the Tour Modified leader. Let's go back and take a look at this. We knew there was issues going on last week in Charlotte, and it looks like it brewed over here into the Irwindale race. Let's take a look one more time. Here you're going to see Tanner Cook out to the high side. Seth the Merchant just passes Scott Naslin, looking to the inside. Tanner Cook's going to swing wide with the invitation to pass. And you can see right there, he's already starting to turn down intentionally. And he's going to smack the 35 of DeMerchant, getting the 35 loose. Cook's going to go up into the wall, slamming on the brakes. He'll have some sparks fly there right by the Lucas Oil sign. And the 35 of Seth the Merchant will be spun out, which unfortunately will put him back a few positions into third. That will bring the MaxFire.com Chevrolet of Wade Cheetah up to the front. Scott Naslin looking like he's going to get a wave around here. As race control gives him the signal to pass the pace car, he'll get a lap back. So Naslin will go back to the lead lap. Kyle Barnes, still your race leader, has not had a lead change in the light division all night. So out of the 178 completed, all have been credited to this 46 machine. Pretty much it oversees the CRA league and all their different races that they have. Early on in the series, decided to take off the race control helmet, put on a helmet, get behind the light modified car and get out there and race with these guys. And every time he's done so, he's finished in the top 5. Lights off the pace car. Wade Cheetah is going to take the inside groove. It's going to be Christian Peterson to the outside. Zach Mecca will be in that second row. Robbie Bunden to the outside. Brian Neff will have light modified driver Kyle Barnes to the outside. Pace car taking them into turn number 3 here on lap 181. Out of 4, it'll get the green flag. Here we go. Wade Cheetah to set that pace.
Green flag.
There's the green flag back in the air on lap 182. And Wade Cheetah to the inside groove. Little checkup action. Slows up. As the car was wanting to push, he slows up. And Christian Peterson now to the outside. A little bit of battle here for the race lead in the Tour division as Peterson working that high side. He's been able to do it all night, folks. As they work their way into turn 3. Peterson still out to the high side. Cheetah looking solid on the inside groove. Zach Mecca lap traffic for the rest of the field here. Seth the Merchant, the other Tour Modified on the lead lap, hanging back, and Mecca's going to get loose out of turn number 4. And, oh, wow, checkup action there as Mecca got loose yet again. Seth the Merchant gave him a little bump to move him out of the way. And now the teammates find themselves side by side, now 1-2. The Merchant ahead of Peterson. Cheetah could see the 6-man Inc. crew behind him as he works his way out of the turn into turn number 3. The Merchant and Peterson working their way still in the lower groove. It's amazing to see the 23 6-man Inc. car able to work that outside groove when needed, although the preferred line looks to be to the inside here as they work their way into the first couple turns. You can see Peterson. Looks like he's going to give a little battle there with teammate Seth the Merchant. And Peterson to the inside of the Merchant. The Merchant's going to swing wide. He's going to look a little loose. Both drivers loose in the first couple turns. So the Merchant will hold on to second position. Peterson falls to third. Kyle Barnes has the Tour Modifieds to the outside as the 46 machine hugs that yellow line. The inside line as he works his way into the third turn here on lap 191. Benny Ellison has worked his way now in front of Scott Naslund to be in second here in the light modifieds. Pretty much has the championship secured at this point. Ellison, not one of the flashier drivers out there in the series, but he has been able to strike where it counts. Out of it, we take a look here. We'll pull up some stats for you. So out of the light modifieds, we'll give you the career stats here, the series stats, I should say. Benny Ellison has logged 2,300 laps in this series. Average start's about a 6th position start. He finishes up in the top 3 on average. 13 top 5, 16 top 10s, but take a look at this, folks. 0 wins. Talking about not being the flashiest driver, just being a consistent driver has got this guy in the top slot in points, 25 points to be exact, ahead of the 33 of Scott Naslund. Scott Naslund has 2 wins this season, 3 poles. He's been able to claim 12 top 5s, 15 top 10s, and yet he still finds himself 25 points behind that guy right there, Benny Ellison. So Seth the Merchant putting the pressure on Wade Cheetah here as they head into lap 201. 50 laps now remain in the race and in the tour, in the season for the Modified Madness Tour. Give you some statistics on some of these guys up here in the Tour Modifieds. Talking about a dominant performance as we follow the Merchant and Cheetah, as the Merchant now looks to the inside of Wade Cheetah in a battle for the race lead. Oh, they're going to make some contact in the turn, and Seth the Merchant's going to be able to get past Wade Cheetah and take over the race lead in the Tours here on lap 203. Seth the Merchant flexing some muscles here at Irwindale. Total of 171 laps led. Seth the Merchant in the Tour Modifieds this series has had 4 wins, 2 poles scored, 10 top 5s, and 11 top 10s. As we follow Wade Cheetah. Wade Cheetah comes into the race tonight, 6th position in points. Has had a win so far in the series. 1 pole position. He's had 8 top 5s and 11 top 10s. Very competitive field. As we go back here and show you the series points leader in the tours, Christian Peterson, 9 total wins, 8 total poles. He's had 13 top 5s and 16 top 10s. That is a display of dominance, folks, and that's why this driver right here, cruise control mode here at Irwindale, 71 points. The gap, oh, he's a little dirt tracking it as the rear end comes loose on him. Out of turn number 4. I think he's just having a little bit of fun out there at this point. Knowing he's getting closer and closer to claiming that championship. Cheetah now to the inside of Ellison, still behind Seth the Merchant as they head into lap 212. Just under 40 laps remaining in the race. Kyle Barnes still out to the light modified race lead, and take a look at this. Scott Naslin in front of Benny Ellison. Tour Modified race leader Seth the Merchant to the inside, as well as Wade Cheetah, who's in 2nd position. Will pass the 33 on the inside, and they're going to hug the lower groove. So Naslin ahead of Ellison. Doesn't seem like he has the car to catch Kyle Barnes this late in the race. We'll be able to close the gap, but unfortunately, without a victory, pretty much solidifies his 2nd position slot in the points for the light modified division. The Merchant now to the high side of Barnes. And for the 4th time here tonight, both division leaders find each other side by side. Wade Cheetah nearly making it 3 wide as they come across the start-finish line outside of turn 4. And as soon as you talk about one turn, they're already into the next couple turns. As the Merchant now works his way into the front stretch, into the first turn. Wade Cheetah's going to get around Kyle Barnes here in turn 2. And the Tour Modified's able to pull away from the lights as they work their way into the straightaways. As the Merchant comes out of turn number 4, it's going to be 30 laps to go. Wade Cheetah holding on. Again, folks, no tires were allowed to be taken here at Irwindale for this championship race. They had to do 250 laps on the same set of tires. And just remember, if you watched early on in this race, Seth the Merchant had a 5.5 second lead over the rest of the field, but now just 0.4 of a second behind him, the number 12 of Wade Cheetah is holding on as his car has gotten faster the longer this race has gone on. And into lap 224, he's now under 0.4 of a second. Kyle Leverald, driver, back in 3rd position, as Zach Becca, very loose Zach Becca in front of him. 42 car here tonight has spun out about a few 4 to 5 times. One of them actually brought out a caution flag. Oh, and there goes Mecca
All right, man,
again.
caution is out. Caution is out.
And the Mountain Dew machine, the number 42 of Zach Mecca. It looked like somebody else spun out with him. We'll have to go back and take a look at the replay. So Kyle Leverald right there with Zach Mecca. And it looks like Robbie Bunden's going to be the one to spin out with Mecca here. As Leverald, oh, it's contact made. So there was actual contact made between the 87 of Robbie Bunden into the back quarter panel there of the 42 of Zach Mecca. And that will bring out the caution flag for the 4th time here tonight. We was just talking about caution flags. Last one actually before all of this happened here was lap 173, or 175, excuse me, 175 was the last time the caution flag flew. So looking about a good 50 laps of green flag racing, and it looks like now the 42 of Mecca is going to get a wave around. So as they cross the start-finish line here, 20 laps remain in the race. Lights come off the pace car. Wade Cheetah will continue to battle the 35 of Seth the Merchant for the race lead. Here we go.
Green flag.
There's the green flag. And ready to roll. Cheetah today outside of the Merchant. Into the backstretch. And the 12 of Wade Cheetah working that middle groove, not his preferred line. And that's going to get a little push there in turn 4. That's going to give some way for the 35 to get back to the race lead. Comfortably out ahead of Wade Cheetah. Kyle Leverald. Now to the inside of Christian Peterson. Leverald in the hunt for second position here as they continue to work the lower groove into turn number 3.
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
Cautions breeding cautions here, and it looks like Scott Naslin's going to get spun out. And Robbie Bunden right there behind Naslin. And the chrome horn from the 87 Bull machine is going to buck the 33 in the rear end and send him spinning around and out of turn number 2. So Naslin here tonight is looking really solid, but still finds himself behind Benny Ellison. We talked about the 50 laps green flag run that they had between caution flag 3 and caution flag 4, and it was just a few laps between the 4th and the 5th. You can definitely tell the nerves have set in here as we get closer and closer, under 20 laps to go. Actually, under 15 to be more precise. Seth the Merchant, enough can't be said about this young man. Total of 204 laps led here tonight. But don't take anything away from that car behind him. Wade Cheetah, one victory this season, known to be able to find victory lanes. So we'll have to see if he's got what it takes here tonight at the warmer track here at the Inner Oval Irwindale track. Lights off the pace car. It's going to be 11 laps to go when we get back to green. Leveralt and Peterson find themselves in that second row at your front four positions in the tours. Here we go. Pace car now heading into turn number 4.
Green flag.
Green flag flies. 11 laps to go. And Cheetah goes rocket on the outside, but he's going to spin himself out. The will, the want, but definitely not the way Wade Cheetah wanted it to happen. He definitely had what it took, and he may have just let it all go there. And as he overdrove the car into the first couple turns, rear end came around on him, sent him back to 4th position, and now the 6-man Inc. boys out in front. 9 laps to go. And Seth the Merchant leads Christian Peterson. Now 8 laps remain. Benny Ellison, Kyle Barnes battling out in the lights. Here comes Benny Ellison to the outside, as he's going to work the higher groove around the 46 of Barnes. Barnes is going to hug the inside, and the rear end of Ellison comes around. Finding out if you get up on the high side of that track, you can't push it as much as you want. And now Scott Naslin to the inside of Benny Ellison. Naslin trying to battle for second as we have 6 laps to go. Naslin gets around Ellison, but Ellison's coming back. Seth the Merchant works his way into turn number 4. It's going to be 4 laps to go. Kyle Barnes out in front, has a car in between him and Naslin. Naslin able to be around Ellison. Oh, Ellison slides, and that's going to give even more breathing room for the 33 of Scott Naslin. As he works his way through the 3rd and 4th turn, 2 laps remain for Seth the Merchant here at the championship race at Irwindale. Kyle Leveralt able to get around Wade Cheetah into 2nd position. The next time by, it's going to be the checkered flag as the white flag now in the air. Here comes Seth the Merchant. To the checkered flag, your winner, Seth the Merchant. Kyle Barnes, look at the battle. Naslin tried to get back, is not going to make it, as Kyle Barnes will take victory here at Irwindale. $250 laps of pure modified race action came your way here tonight at this Irwindale track. Got 2 different divisions, the modified and the lights. Seth the Merchant comes away with the victory for the Tour Modifieds. Kyle Barnes, the burnout action there, comes away with victory in the lights. Nearly colliding in their happy celebration for the race. And Benny Ellison doing a burnout, knowing that he has gotten the series victory in the lights. And the signature touching of the chrome horns between the 2 divisions here at the start-finish line, signifying a great race here tonight. I'm going to put the results up there on the screen for you folks. That is the top 10 here in the race. Drivers looking to make their way in for interviews as they make their way down to pit road and getting out of their car. So we'll get an interview here. We're going to bring in Kyle Barnes, winner in the light division here tonight. We're going to see if we can get him on the line here and talk and see how the race went for him. Kyle Barnes, how you doing tonight?
Good, really good after that win. I've been trying to get that the whole last half of the season. Just every single time it seems like I got it in my grasp, something happens. So feel pretty good about getting it tonight.
A very dominant performance here at the Inner Oval at Irwindale. Pretty much led, I think, the whole race, if I'm not mistaken. Although you did have some battles up the lead towards the end there. Benny Ellison was trying to work it with you, as well as Scott Naslin. Did you have any pressure there towards the end, thinking they could sneak a win out of you?
A little bit on that restart. I got hung out on row 3 outside. Benny was able to get a good jump on it. Brian drifted up into me a little bit, and that opened the door for Benny, and he was actually able to capitalize and pass me there for about 4 or 5 laps. But luckily, I was just able to work him over. Seemed like he had burned his stuff up, and I was able to go back around him there and capture the win. I was really worried about Scott, but Mecca, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know why he was racing us as hard as he was. He was probably the saving grace for me, but if I was Scott, I'd be pissed because he was in the way, and Scott just couldn't get to me because Mecca was all over the place in the middle of everybody. I mean, unless he wrecked him, caused a caution, there was no way to get to me. So pretty disappointed that me and Scott couldn't race it out there at the end, but very, very happy to walk away with the win.
Is there any thanks you'd like to give for your victory here tonight?
Yeah, definitely Fort Chiswell RV Park, Accelerated Graphics, Men's Image, and especially you for broadcasting all these races. It's been a great season in the Modified Madness Tour, and can't wait to go into the CRA Tour starting this Saturday with the Open Qualifier, and definitely have some exciting racing there too.
All right, we'll stand by and put on your race control admin hat as we're going to bring you back in for the ceremony presentation here for the tour, for the champions of the different divisions. So we'll be back with you shortly here, Kyle.
Definitely.
All right, folks, we're going to get an interview here now. Part of the Six-Man Inc. team, the driver of the number 35 machine here tonight. 216 laps led here tonight, Seth. Looking pretty solid. And I apologize, I just got spooked as a big old bank of thunder just happened to come out the outside. Anyways, excellent job done here tonight. The car seemed like it was on a rail. You really had to battle, though, there with Wade Cheetah for a little bit. Did you figure the 12 was going to give you a run for your money?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially, around halfway, I think I used a little bit too much tire up, and he was running me down there. And then me and Tanner got together, and I think it broke my car because then I was really tight through the corners and was having to drive really hard just to get back up to the lead. And then there on that last run before the last caution, I thought Wade had me because he got back up to my back bumper, and I think he was about to pass me before that caution came out.
Well, you're able to hold on to it. The car looked really solid, working the middle and the outside grooves, as well as the lower grooves here tonight. You're able to bring yourself to victory lane one final time here in the Modified Madness Tour. Any thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give?
Just to the Barnes for putting on the league. It was a lot of fun to run, and congrats to Christian on the championship and the Tour Series.
All right, well, congratulations to you, Seth, and we look forward to seeing more out of you in the future.
Thank you.
There you have it, folks, your winners. Interview with both your winners here tonight. We are going to go live now with the ceremony presentation and a little bit of thoughts here from Benny Ellison, the winner of the Modified Madness Tour Lights Division. Heck of a job done, Benny. I tell you what, it's always amazing to see somebody come away with victory in points that does not have an actual victory in the race. I know it sounds kind of silly to say something like that, but a very solid, consistent top 5 finishing driver that you were this season propelled you to the top in points, even over a guy like Scott Naslin, who had a couple victories this season. How does it feel to be able to come away with this tour victory? And ladies and gentlemen, he is so stunned about getting victory here tonight that we may have to come back to him. So we will look to that. So we'll skip by Benny Ellison, look to come back momentarily. We're going to go to the other six-man Inc. driver. Pretty much dominant performance here. Christian joins us now. Kyle and I to talk a little bit about your reflection on the tour. 9 total victories this season. You had a total of 11 top 10s, 10 top 5s, Christian. Just a dominant performance out of that Peterson Irrigation number 23 machine. You got to be happy with picking up the victory, knowing it was a comfortable lead coming in over teammates at the Merchant. Total of 71 points here in the final season or final race of the season. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I didn't get much practice. I was a little disappointed with how I ran tonight, to be honest with you. But congratulations to Seth on the race win, and just glad the season's over. You know, it was kind of long, not long, but long in the fact that being in the points lead for so long and kind of not having to mess up, and if I messed up more than 1 week in a row, you know, there was a lot to lose. So just glad it worked out the way it did, and glad it wasn't any closer of a race tonight, because I was really slow out there tonight.
Well, you didn't really have to push the envelope too much out there tonight. It was pretty much, as I had mentioned during the broadcast, cruise control mode for you. As 71 points lead, you just needed to come out, log a couple laps, wave, smile for some fans, sign a couple autographs, and the series was pretty much yours to be had. But we'd like to have Kyle Barnes here present you with your winning trophy.
Sweet.
Yeah, Christian, just on behalf of the entire Championship Racing Association, I'd like to congratulate you on your 2016 CRA Modified Madness Tour Championship. And thanks for coming out this season. You definitely had a dominating performance all year long. Was almost unstoppable there up until about 3/4 of the way through the season. Then you had some string of bad luck towards the end. But thank you for coming out. Congratulations on your season, and can't wait to catch you in the CRA Tour.
Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate what you guys do here. I have a lot of fun running short tracks. This is probably the best series and best league to run short track cars and short track set. So can't say enough about what you guys do, and everything that just goes on. I love it.
Well, I really appreciate it. Now, real quick, before we end this trophy presentation, gotta ask, what are your feelings going into the CRA Tour?
Well, we're going in on top right now, so gonna try to defend that. I know it's a different car and it's not fixed setups anymore, but I'm pretty decent at getting some setups thrown together for that car, and we hope to come out and put the Peterson Irrigation number 23 super late model at the front every week.
We definitely look forward to that action to be had. Again, folks, more to come from that, as we will be holding a special race coming up and a special broadcast this Saturday. We'll be able to talk more in regards to that. But Christian, congratulations here tonight on a series well fought and well dominated by a 23 machine. We look forward to more action this winter when we move into the CRA Tour.
All right, thank you, Dustin.
All right, folks. Well, there you have it there from your Tour Modified. We'll try Benny Ellison one more time, as he was celebrating with his teammates, and I think Benny might be ready. Is he ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so Benny Ellison now joins us, driver of the number 01 machine in the light modified division. And we had talked about earlier, not a flashy victory for you, as you didn't actually have one victory this season in the light modifieds, but you were a heck of a consistent driver. Top 2 to top 3 finishes were enough to propel you over guys like Scott Naslin, who had a couple of victories but missed a few weeks, and you're able to come away with the light modified division championship. How does it feel?
It's great. It's my first championship, and I was under the radar. The whole season, I never could close the deal, but like you said, I just kept knocking out second places and third place, and the points just kept adding up, and it kept my stuff clean. I always try to save something for the end, so. A lot of times I started in the back, and last 50 laps I'd give it all I had. But it feels good, and hopefully it's not the last one.
Well, we look forward more out of it, but here to present you with your award is Kyle Barnes.
Well, Benny, on behalf of the entire Championship Racing Association organization, we'd like to present you with your Modified Light Championship and the CRA Modified Madness Tour. Thank you for everything you've done participating in the series and putting on the awesome races that you have. You've been a dark horse all season long, and it seems like you're always there at the very, very end of the events. So thank you for coming out, and congratulations on your championship.
Thanks for putting on the series, Kyle, and look forward to running in the future series.
Well, we were talking with Christian Peterson real quick here, Benny, and coming up in the CRA Tour of the winter, we're going to be moving into super late model and late model tours. What can we expect? Are we going to see the 01 machine in that action?
You know, I got to tell you, I got some teammates that are coming over to that series that are awful good. It should be really exciting. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a lot tougher than this series, I think, was, because I know of at least 4 or 5 drivers that are top notch that's coming in, so it's going to be exciting.
Well, we look forward to seeing that action coming up again, folks. Special broadcast to come up this Saturday to talk about it. So, Benny Ellison, congratulations on a hard-fought victory. Again, like you said, under the radar, not the flashiest, but folks, this is a true testament of being a solid, consistent driver can get you a championship. Congratulations again, Benny.
Thanks, Dustin.
Well, there you have it, folks. What a series, what a schedule we had this season. Total of 18 weeks race season laid down here in the Modified Madness Tour. 2 different divisions, 2 champions. Congratulations to Christian Peterson, driver of the number 23 machine in the Tour Modifieds, the 01 of Benny Ellison in the Light Modifieds, for a great, great series performance. Also, congratulations to the other drivers in putting down the battles each and every week. A lot of notables out there to be said, but in the end, 2 champions were crowned here tonight. Race results up there on the screen. Seth the Merchant able to sneak away a victory, shave 6 points off the deficit between Christian Peterson with that win here tonight. Kyle Leverald, Wade Cheetah, Christian Peterson, Zach Mecca, the top 5 in the tours. Robbie Bundon, Brian Neff rounding out the field. Kyle Barnes, Scott Naslin, Benny Ellison, your top 3 in the lights. And as we move back through the results, Tanner Cook, Austin Coop with a little bit of issues here tonight. Josh Hart not able to make it out on the field, engine troubles, as well as Scott Schrader and Robert Lacavara. But again, coming up this Saturday night, folks, a special presentation and race action to be had. Super late models coming your way, as we will be given a preview of what can be expected out of the CRA Tour coming up this winter. That is going to do it for us here tonight, and I hope you enjoyed it, folks. It's been our pleasure to be able to bring this Modified Madness Tour action to you for these last 18 weeks. But that will do it for us here tonight. If you want to know any more about the Championship Racing Association, put all that together in a .com after it, and you can find them out there on the web. If you want to know more about who we are, find us on the web at forgebroadcasting.com. But that will do it for us here tonight. I'm Dustin Caldwell saying thank you for tuning in, folks, and we'll see you tomorrow night.